And my actual eyesight is there. The high drive, deep center. Go, go, go! We're out of here! We're out of here! Say ya, playa!
Just like they drew it up in Hollywood, Caladros, the 3-2, swing and a miss! And the Audubon Green Wave have upset the Kingsway Dragons! And this is it for good! The Audubon Green Wave are back in the Final Four! A dog pile on their side!
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to DW Broadcasting's coverage of men's varsity.
From our entire crew, we'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one, folks. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are about to start on time here at Hank Greenberg Field. Never thought I'd see the day, but we've got a very good yet underrated matchup in the Colonial Conference this afternoon, and that's why we're here. It's the Gloucester Lions and the Audubon Green Wave, and as you look at the bottom of your screen, you see the team records, and they're good. Gloucester is not the, meddling team or the fledgling team that we've seen before that can barely hold its head above water. Last year they were good. This year, I darn say they're even better. And this is why we're here. We won't be here tomorrow for the Paulsboro game, but we're sure as heck here today because this is going to be probably one of Audubon's toughest matchups that nobody really saw coming under the radar. And yes, this could very well be a blowout game. I know that is in the possibility. It's in the possibility of any game, as we've seen earlier this year. Like Immaculata Somerville thought it was going to be a great matchup with two Skyland Conference Titans, but it ended up being 15-5 instead. So what's the difference? Well, Gloucester is coming off of their first Patriot Division title since 2005. And not only that, they've beaten some Colonial Conference Liberty Division powerhouses like Haddon Heights and Haddonfield. And the one man who was responsible in all of those cases is their starter tonight, Joseph McDonald. He holds a sub-4 ERA, and the numbers aren't exactly anything that a D1 scout would take a look at, but he has been their X factor in defeating good teams. He's kind of like Gloucester's Jason Stocklin, if you will. If you remember a couple of years ago when Audubon had this crazy run, they no-hit Washington Township, and then they beat Kingsway because Stocklin was on the mound in 2023. Same thing with Paul Sixt. That was a short-lived experiment, but this seems like this experiment's actually working. You obviously think of Gavin Zane and Seth McCormick when you think of Gloucester pitchers, but Joseph McDonald is their wild card. And how is Audubon responding to that wild card? Well, they are throwing their own wild card out on the hill tonight. Holy Family commit and lefty Joey Slavin Jr., he's going to be going on the hill after beating Bishop Eustace basically by himself on a couple of days ago in the first round of the Diamond Classic. Audubon was not favored against Eustace, but then he came out, he walked 6, but he had 3 2/3 innings where he only allowed 1 run, and Audubon's offense did the rest in a 4-1 win on the road at Pennsauken for Bishop Eustace. So both teams are throwing their wild cards tonight. Gloucester with Joseph McDonald and Audubon with Joey Slavin. And it'll be surely a weird and funky clash that we haven't seen in a while here in South Jersey Group 1. But the wild card debate is obviously exacerbated by the fact that the South Jersey Group 1 PowerPoint scene right now is the Wild West. You've got your Audubon, Pennsville, Pittman. Buna dropped off after losing maybe 8 or 9 of their starters from last year. And Gloucester is 4th right now. They are in the top 5. They're holding their own. And again, coming off of their first division title since 2005, their pitching has taken the step up and their offense has filled in the gaps. Both coaches and assistants and umpires are meeting at home plate right now. We will give you lineups and first pitch in just a moment here at the Hank Greenberg Field. Audubon has just taken the field here at the Hank Greenberg Complex. We've got a fun one this afternoon here between Gloucester and Audubon, as Joey Slavin, the left-hander and commit to Holy Family University, a first-year baseball program looking to get on their feet for the first time, he will be Audubon's lab project tonight. As we said, both starting pitchers in this game have done some wild things. Joey Slavin beat Bishop Eustace with 3 2/3 innings of scoreless baseball in the first round of the Diamond Classic, which Audubon was eventually eliminated from in the round of 16 by Delsey in a rematch back in Franklinville that the Crusaders, instead of taking 4-3 like they did in Game 1, they did so more decidedly with an 8-2 final. But for Joey Slavin, the lefty who has had issues with controlling his pitches and walks all year, looks to shut down Gloucester in a more formidable matchup. He's appeared versus every non-conference game, almost every one that we've seen this year. In fact, this is Joey's first start of 2024 against a conference opponent. He pitched a third of an inning versus Gateway last year in his first inning on the Hill, but this is his first start against a Colonial Conference opponent. This year he had 1 inning versus Delsey, 4 versus Bordentown, 2 versus Woodstown, and 3 1/3 versus Bishop Eustace. So he's going to get the real test of a lifetime here, as the senior will get some good looks at the people that have been actually with a higher winning percentage in the Colonial Conference in the Patriot Division. Gloucester this year 13-5. They have impressed many, but have only played 3 divisional games in that small division comprising of Gateway, Collingswood, and Haddon Township. They've won 4 in a row and 5 of their last 6, and in fact they've won 8 of their last 9, with the only loss being in the first round of Pittman's Joe Lang Classic to GCIT. But they've beaten Pittman, Haddonfield, Paulsboro, and Deptford, and then they've got Pleasantville, Gateway, and Triton coming up for a couple of good matchups for the Gloucester Lions. But as we said, Gloucester has been a little different this year. They've always put themselves to the test, and they've definitely made it work, with McDonald being their X factor against these powerhouse teams. But Slavin with a 4.74 ERA this year in 10 1/3 innings, 17 walks, and 13 strikeouts, 7 earned runs, but only 5 hits allowed. And in that, 2 of them were versus Bordentown and 2 were versus Bishop Eustace. So in his 5th appearance of the year, his first against a Colonial Conference opponent, he's going to look to lock in before he goes to the Philly Metro next year. Leading off is Seth McCormick for the Gloucester Lions, led by Greg Galbraith. Let's take a look at that Gloucester Lions starting lineup, brought to you by Tommy D's Home Improvement. The two-way phenom of Seth McCormick, the pitcher and catcher, he sets up behind the plate today, batting leadoff. Jake Siebert is the shortstop, batting second. Russ Medler is the first baseman, batting third. Gavin Wiener at second base, batting cleanup. Aiden Daly, the third baseman, batting fifth. Jake Zierfoss in left field, batting sixth, as that one is way away to start the game. Joseph McDonald is the pitcher, batting seventh. Caleb Wright takes the DH spot, batting eighth. And Kevin Wall in right, batting ninth. McDonald rips one out towards left center field. That one's going to be over the head of everybody. Going out towards Stockland and Copsetta. He rockets this one in, and it's a second pitch double for Seth McCormick to get the Lions roaring out there on the first base dugout here in the top of the first. So McCormick rips a double into the left center field gap, and that's how we start this ball game. Just 2 pitches in, and an extra base hit has been surrendered. Pinch hitting for McCormick is Mason Widman, a running back and a fullback for the Lions Football Club. As here's a ground ball on a bunt. Caladros has it. Throw to first is in time, and the freshman Connor Chester, back at the varsity level here in this 6th week of the season, he reels it in for out number 1.
We got one!
So wasting no time, Siebert is retired, and this brings up Russell Medler. appeal down to second says no, and they're saying he is hit by a pitch. So that moves the runners to the corners here as Medler's hit by a pitch. And after Medler gets plunked, this is going to bring up Gavin Weiner, the second baseman. First pitch. Fouled back, 0-1. So Widman on third, Medler on first, here in a tumultuous start for Audubon as that one is down. 1-1. From the stretch, inside 2-1. Weiner, a 4-year varsity player, 70 for 258. Has 19 career extra base hits, all but one are doubles, 271 career hitter, and a 353 career slugger. Here's a fly ball out towards shallow right. Chester's going over, and that is foul onto Walnut. 2-2. I mean, Slavin hasn't even hit 10 pitches yet, and he's already in a rough spot. A double, a weak ground out on a bunt to move that runner over, and a hit by pitch. Runner goes, but here on the hit and run, that's going to drop in left center field for a base hit by Weiner. Dempsey picks it up. Medler is stopped at third, and an RBI single off the bat of Gavin Weiner. He's loving it, and it's 1-0 Gloucester. So he takes care of business, and Gloucester, instead of waiting patiently for walks, they are impatiently getting hits, and it's working for them exactly how they wanted it to. It's 1-0. There's a ground ball out to third, but it is foul. Medler had to duck down over at third. But it's 0-1 to Daly. Runner goes. Here comes the throw from Zimmer. It's going to be in plenty of time, no doubt. And it's now 0-2, so the tides have turned in a 180, where he goes from 2 runners on and 1 out to now just 1 man on, an 0-2 count, and a quite favorable position for Slavin. As the cleanup man and left-handed pitcher delivers an 0-2. Fastball up and away, he got him, strike 3. So talk about a turning of the tide for the Wave. They give up 1, but immediately get a stolen base attempt thwarted and a strikeout to retire the side. Gloucester bats 5 and scores 1. We'll be right back as the Green Wave grab bat for the first time this afternoon. We'll be right back. All right, well, Gloucester is throwing their X factor out there tonight. Joseph McDonald. He threw one scoreless inning of varsity work last year, but in his second campaign, he has been not exactly lights out, but he has been lights out when he needs to be. 22 and 2/3 innings with a 3.71 ERA, 13 walks, 12 strikeouts, and 12 earned runs. Doesn't seem like much to write home about, but for for McDonald, it certainly is. Considering that this is his 7th appearance of the year, he threw 2 1/3 to beat Shalleck, which is a respectable 500 club, and then he threw a complete game versus Haddon Heights back on the 18th, a couple of weeks ago, to give them a huge statement win. He did the same with 6 innings versus Sterling in a 14-3 game, which was technically a complete game, and Haddonfield with 103 pitches and 4 2/3 to help lead the Lions to a win. So when Gloucester has beaten a team outside of their division in the conference, the man who has been mostly responsible for holding the others down is Joseph McDonald. As here's Tyler Wiltsey, the commit to Rutgers University. He is taking an 0-1 count here versus the righty McDonald. Here's the 0-1. There's another strike, and it's 0-2. Let's take a look at that Audubon Green Wave starting lineup, brought to you by Tommy D's Home Improvement. Wiltsey takes the shortstop spot. Charlie Copsetta, the Camden County College commit, in center field, batting second. And Wiltsey rockets this one out towards left center field. Going back, Pfeffer hits it off his glove. It bounces off the base of the wall. Wiltsey is flying like a horse on its heels. He's going to go to third. Throw not in time. Ball skips away. Leadoff triple for the future Scarlet Knight, Tyler Wiltsey. You knew that was going to be trouble as soon as that hit off of Pfeffer's glove. I think he had the right beat on it, but the ball was just going too fast for Pfeffer to really reel that one in. Not his fault, but continuing with that lineup, it's Zimmer behind the plate, Trent Bannell in right, Slavin on the hill, Zimmer behind the plate, the Greek freak Nick Caladros at third, Jack Dempsey at second, his brother Bryce in left, and Jason Stockland rounding out the order, the DH spot. Swing and a miss by Copsetta, and it's 0-1. Whew. Barely even had time to catch my breath. And Tyler Wiltsey rips a triple into the center field gap. I mean, that was pretty much straightaway center. But with the grass getting a little taller, you know, around this warmer time of year, it definitely is something where the ball just doesn't roll as much as you want to. I mean, it was cooped up against the base of the wall for his 7th career triple and his 4th this year. Copsetta rips one to right. That's a base hit. Game tied. This one goes into the corner, and it's going to skip past the traffic cones into the shot put area, and Kevin Wall picks it up. They called a foul ball. Okay. That was tough. Although I would much rather throw a baseball than a shot put. So they're like, what, 12 pounds, 15 pounds? They're not light. Yeah. I'll tell you that much. 1-2 after the foul ball, as McDonald under a lot of pressure early. That one's down. I mean, hey, he's throwing good. You know, especially when I came into this game thinking, is he Gloucester's version of Jason Stockland? He's definitely not. He throws decently well. He doesn't have any sort of trickery that makes him different. Like, he's a righty, Stockland's a lefty. That's what threw a lot of people off, is that Stockland was a lefty who didn't really throw anything above 75 miles per hour. Kind of like a reverse Jamie Moyer, except he's not 49, he's 16. But very quickly, Copsetta has worked the count full here and put McDonald in some trouble. With a runner on third, that being the tying run, as Copsetta launches this one high in the air, down the third base line. Daly going over, and he makes the catch. One away. So he reels that one in to bring up Bannell, the right fielder. Obviously not the turnaround that you want. You thought you had a ground rule double, but instead you have to trade it for a pop out to third. We'll see if Bannell can be the equalizer with the infield in. That's going to be a base hit in the center field, and he is. The ball stops in the grass, picked up by Pfeffer, and Trent Bannell has an RBI single. It's 1-1. I mean, that's the way to do it, you know. You had that ground rule double denied, so you come back on the first pitch, you waste no time, and get yourself a base hit. So here is Joey Slavin now, looking to help his own cause here with a runner on and one away. Zimmer on deck. First pitch. Strike called on the inside corner, 0-1. So each team has traded RBI singles here in the first inning. Audubon looking to get an early edge. Runner goes. Here comes the throw down and deja vu. No, he's safe. Close call there. But it's 1-1 now with a runner on second. Slavin, a .324 hitter this year, 11 for 34. 8 walks, 13 RBIs, 31 RBIs in his career. And now has a chance to strike again with a runner in scoring position. It's 2-1. Had 4 RBIs in Audubon's 12-0 win over Haddon Township on the 29th. The day that Rich Horan was gifted his 600th win trophy. We were over at Northern Burlington and Cherokee that day, but still an excellent honor for Coach to have, and now I think he's up to 602. So the path to 700 to go out there and beat Sam Tropiano of Bishop Eustace and formerly of St. Augustine, it's already on its way. 2-2. Slavin chases at a ball that had some altitude, and there's 2 down. So McDonald picks up his first strikeout for Zimmer. So a bit of a different approach, as Zimmer's usually the 2 hitter and Copseta's usually somewhere in the 8 or 9 spot, but it's interesting how they've kind of tweaked with it a little bit over the weeks, as Zimmer's first pitch is flown out towards right. Walls was shifted to his right, and it's a foul ball. Wall would have had that ball if he was shifted over to the left, but Zimmer had other plans. I mean, these guys are shifted well to the left, but Zimmer is decently well known for hitting the ball the other way. So especially in the right center field gap and down the right field line, I'm a little surprised that they're shifting that far to the left. Strike called, and it's 0-2. If the inning continues, Nick Caladros, the third baseman, would bat here for the Green Wave. But we're all knotted up at 1-1 in the bottom of the first inning. McDonald at 16 pitches so far, trying to keep it even pace so he can go the distance. As the 0-2. Upstairs. And it's 1-2. This inning's been a wild ride for Audubon. A triple to lead off the game for Wiltsey, followed up by a pop-up to third, an RBI single, and a strikeout. So Audubon's offense has already gone through a lot of ebbs and flows in just the span of 5 batters. Zimmer gets on top of it, grounds it to short. Siebert has it. Throw to first is in time by a few steps, and the side is retired. McDonald gets out of it, and despite the leadoff triple, they come away with just a minor dent. It's 1-1 after 1. Top of the second, Green Wave and the Lions tied up at 1-1 after an odd first inning, to say the least. But 5 batters came to the plate for both sides, and now we'll see 6, 7, and 8 for both the Lions and the Green Wave in the second frame, as Slavin misses high and away to Zimmer. 1-0. Zimmer, as far as I'm concerned, is uncommitted. I don't know if he actually wishes to play college baseball. He's certainly got the tools to make it happen. I just don't know if that's something that he wants to put through in his future. I mean, there's some people that I know have excellent capabilities and excellent skills, but just don't want to play anymore after high school. And that's something that you're allowed to do. I mean, you'll get recruited, but ultimately, it's your choice. Caladros with a nice running throw, not in time. Just missed it. And Jake Zierfoss gets aboard with an infield single. And here is the pitcher, Joseph McDonald. Gloucester with their 3rd hit so far tonight. They've gotten 1 run across. Swing and a miss. 1-1. That got him in the foot. So a single and a hit by pitch put Gloucester in business here, as the pitcher McDonald takes one for the team. And that's going to bring up... It's going to bring up, Caleb Wright, the DH. Also a wrestler for Gloucester. And that's a common theme, as there's a bunt back. It's a common theme among South Jersey Group 1 teams to see a lot of multi-sporting, as somebody got hit in the mask. I think it might have been the home plate umpire.
Let's go!
I think it was the home plate umpire that got nicked there. Yeah, he's giving a thumbs up. So I thought originally it was the catcher, but those kinds of ricochets can definitely knock your brain a little bit. But I was checking on him, make sure that he's all right. We've had our fair share of umpire moments this year. I feel like it's already been 2 months since the Rosemont Rutgers Camden game in the doubleheader. Were you there for that? I'm not sure. Where the umpire hurled in the dugout, and they had to do. Yeah, we had to go through game 1 of the doubleheader with only one umpire, which obviously is very different, but 1-1 to the lefty right. Strike called, and it's 1-2. Slavin stepping off the mound there as that ball kind of got tossed around on the inside. Slavin with 1 strikeout tonight, 1 earned run after the double by McCormick and the subsequent RBI single by Gavin Wiener. Here's the pitch. Slider got him. That was more of a slurve if I've ever seen one. A little bit of a sweeping action. Strikeout number 2, and there's 1 away. So here's Kevin Wall.
Hey, spin it up the middle!
Number 9 hitter Wall takes outside. 1-0. He's committed to RCSJ Gloucester, where I will be going next year, not for baseball, but for soccer. The 3-sport athlete also dabbling in baseball and basketball, but soccer is his forte. But the fact that he can get minutes as a basketball player for a over 500 team like Gloucester and also bet in the order for the baseball team as well. You know, not being a three-sport athlete is one thing, but being a three-sport starter is a whole nother can of worms. As there's a strike. 2-1. Wall, the 6-foot senior, batting 167 this year, 6 for 36, 4 walks and 6 stolen bases. So he's been a little bit more of a base running specialist. But if he can put the bat on the ball, he certainly can do damage with it. But the fact that he's got a knack for plate discipline helps a lot. 3 balls, 1 strike to the future road runner, and he will run down to first base. Bases loaded. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide, and now we turn it back over to the top of the order for Seth McCormick. Not easy, to say the least. Not an easy situation for Audubon here, especially since they know they can get him back on the offense, but how much? You know, they haven't been shut out, to my knowledge, at all this year. And now, after throwing that 1-0 pitch, they're going to have a quick meeting on the hill here. Wade Geist not coming out yet, but here's the situation for Gloucester. You've got Kevin Wall on first, McDonald on second, and Zierfoss on third. Zierfoss and McDonald might not be that quick of runners, but Wall definitely has the speed, considering he is a soccer player. And, you know, if a ball gets into the gap like McCormick burned Slavin earlier, it's going to be a big burn. It's going to be third degree, because you've got bases loaded. You only have 1 out. And regardless of what you do this inning, you've already done damage. He's up to 30 pitches now in just an inning and a third. And even if you strike out the next 2 batters and get out of the inning, you've hampered his pitch count. So that is a job well done from Gloucester here. Foul tip on a swing and a miss, and it's 1-1 here. McCormick, the 3-year starter, 23 for 64 this year as he rockets that one foul. 1-2. 359 average this year, 2 homers, including one versus versus Paulsboro. As here's the 1-2 from Slavin. That one skips in the dirt, 2-2. The one thing you cannot do under any circumstance here is walk-in runs, because that's when the game starts to unravel. I don't care if it's just 1 run, but it hampers your confidence and it kind of throws you for a nervous wreck. That might be worse. There's a base hit in the left field. Stockland's got it, Dempsey has it. 1 run scores. Now they're going to throw behind the runner at third. It's not in time. RBI single for McCormick, and he drives in Gloucester's 2nd run of the game, and it's 2-1. Probably going to have Elmore run again for McCormick, and indeed that will be the case. So Gloucester takes a 2-1 lead, and the bases are still loaded here.
Turn it!
2 for 2. That one's high and away to Siebert, who grounded out to third his first time. (2-0). Siebert, the senior, 66 for 233 in his career. 284 career hitter, 341 slugging, 11 doubles, 1 triple, which was last year, and 30 walks with 20 stolen bases. As that one's outside, 3-1. Bases loaded, 1 out, nowhere to run for Audubon as Slavin's in a lot of trouble to start here. 3-1 to Siebert. That's ball 4, and that's a bases loaded walk, 3-1. So the same man who shut down Bishop Eustace is now going to be the same guy who's just walked in a run for Gloucester. 2 very different schools, and not even a mound visit from Wade Geist. Ryan Knoll is in and Slavin is pulled. Just an inning and a third for Slavin, and Audubon's experiment has gotten a little out of hand tonight as he allows a handful of walks, including one to drive in a run, and we'll have a pitching change early. Looks like Lance Furness, the junior, is coming in to replace him after 38 pitches, 3 runs, all earned, and just an inning and a third. We'll be right back here on DWB as the junior Furness has a go at it.
In life, the road ahead is full of possibilities, but to navigate it safely, you need the right skills. Harper Driving School is the premier driving school serving Gloucester, Salem, and Camden counties. With experienced instructors, many of whom are teachers in local schools, we are dedicated to your success and will help you master the road with confidence. With an over 95% success rate of students passing their road test on their first try, you know your student will be in good hands while embarking on a huge step of their young adult lives, all while avoiding the lines at the DMV and getting insurance discounts.
We chose Harper, and so should you.
Lance Furness, the junior right-hander, is on the hill here. 4 scoreless innings for him, but considering that he's not inheriting any runners here, considering that he's taking over for Joey Slavin, who left the bases loaded, could be a little different. As there's a fly ball out towards deep center field. Copsetta going back. He's got it. He fumbled it a little bit, but he does make the catch. A sacrifice fly scores yet another, and Gloucester extends their lead to 4-1. So a 3 spot for Gloucester as a sacrifice fly is the second out of the inning. Again, that run is now charged to Slavin because he inherited all 3 runners on. As Furness delivers a strike. 0-1. So now here is Wiener, who had Gloucester's first single, and I'm sorry, their first RBI, scoring Elmore. In the next at-bat, he was called out, attempting to steal second. That's down 2-1. DWB is proud to announce that we've renewed our partnership with the Tri-County Baseball League for the 2024 summer season. We'll be covering just over a dozen games for them, including 1 game of the week for all 8 weeks of the regular season, including 6 playoff games as well, including all 3, if needed, of the Carter Cup, 33rd annual. It'll be a fun summer for us to be covering this wonderful and premier South Jersey Summer League with talent all the way from Division I all the way down to the high school and JUCO ranks. Make sure you find out more information by visiting tricobaseball.com. A swing and a miss retires the side, and Furness gets out of it. He allows the sacrifice fly, but again, that run is not charged to Furness. And we'll go to the bottom of the second. Gloucester puts up 3, and they lead by 3 going to the bottom of the second. Joseph McDonald back to work, as now he's got a nice cushion to work with. He only had a 1-run lead in the first, and he gave that up, but now he's got a 3-run lead to cook with here. As we've got the Dempsey brothers, 6, 7, and 8 after Caladros with retired to end the inning. Or I'm sorry, this is Caladros, and then it will be the Dempsey brothers. Jack first, Bryce second, and then we'll round out the order with the DH Jason Stocklin. It's 1-0. McDonald only threw 18 pitches in the first inning, and a little surprised by, what we've seen so far, as this one's popped up into shallow right center field. Going back, Wiener, he makes the catch. Backtracking, he brings it down. Gavin Wiener, what a play, one away. So here's Dempsey. As we said, Audubon on Saturday took a loss 8-2 to Delsey in the second round of the 50th annual Diamond Classic tournament after a very impressive upset win over Bishop Eustace. Delsey now advances to the round of 8, one of the quarterfinal teams. We'll be covering 2 Diamond Classic games this week. Tuesday will be Rancocas Valley versus the 1-seed Gloucester Catholic. That'll be a 4 o'clock start from Joe Barth Field in Brooklawn, and then Wednesday, 3:45, between Lenape and Cherry Hill West. So 2 of the 4 games that are being played in the round of 8 are covered right here on DWB. That one is down. Wednesday is a DWB doubleheader. We close off the Wednesday nightcap with a 7 o'clock game between Highland and Triton in the Tri-County Liberty. It's going to be a fun game, as Highland, I believe, is celebrating their senior night that night. 2 balls, 1 strike to Jack Dempsey. That one's high, 3-1. Audubon started off the game with a 1-1 start, as Tyler Wiltsey led off the game with a triple. Bannell drove him in with an RBI single, and it's been hush ever since. There's a little floater out towards right. Wall going in. That's going to drop for a base hit. So Jack Dempsey gets aboard with a floater single where they were not, and that puts a runner on with 1 away for his twin brother Bryce. Bryce Dempsey, who had gone 2 entire varsity seasons without an extra base hit, had his first double on Saturday versus Delsey in the Diamond Classic, as he rips this one out towards right field. Walls got it, and he makes the catch. Got some good coaching there from John Pfeffer, kind of giving him the advice on where to go. And there's 2 away. You could hear it out here in right center field where Pfeffer kind of said, go back a little, go back a little. And that communication is sometimes non-existent on some teams. And part of that is the culture of the team. If you're not raising your kids right to tell them, where to go in the outfield, they're not going to know where to go. And a lot of times you just don't have the right state of mind for that kind of situation, and you don't really give your outfielder any help. But Pfeffer ran over to Wall in the process of the fly ball coming down and said, go back, go back, go back a little bit, because he had a better eye on it. Here's a fly ball into the gap in right center field. That's going to drop in front of Pfeffer. He missteps, but grabs it with the bare hand. Dempsey goes to third, and Jason Stocklin's got a base hit to right center field, and that is not what Gloucester wanted. They wanted to get through the inning without having to deal with Tyler Wiltsey, but with 2 runners on, they will have to do so. So here is Wiltsey. He tripled to center field his first time after getting a lucky bounce off the glove of Pfeffer. Outfield playing very, very deep. It's 1-0. You're watching coverage of Colonial Conference Baseball right here on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. If you have any questions or comments, drop me a line at thedanwilkinsshow@gmail.com. They got him stranded at third, but they did not get him. That's risky. I thought he overshot it a little bit. I thought he took too big of a lead, and they threw back. They wanted to test him, but he got back in there. 2 balls, no strikes to Wiltsey. Curveball in there, 2-1. If the inning continues, then it will be Charlie Copsetta on deck. He popped out to third his first time. Two balls, 1 strike. Wiltsey rockets this one the other way. This one's going to push foul. And look out Liam Corbel in the athletic trainer cart. I'm sure that cart's taken a couple dents over the years, the club car. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and 2 on in a 4-1 game in favor of the visiting Gloucester Lions. They have been very impressive tonight. They've taken advantage of Slavin not through walks, but through hitting the ball square up. He's thrown the ball in the zone, but Gloucester's read it all night. Wiltsey sends this one out towards right center field. Wall going over. That's over his head. That's going to drop right in front of us. Wiltsey's going to go to second. He's going to round. He's going to go for third. Does he have another? Yes, he does. 2 triples for Tyler Wiltsey. And that just drove in 2 runs to make it 4-3. Somebody is going to have to get Tyler Wiltsey an oxygen mask at the end of the game, because 2 for 2 with 2 triples has made this game starting to go into slugfest territory. It's 4-3 in the second. Here's Copsetta now with the tying run on third, a chance to tie the game. And the first pitch, that one is down. I think it's pretty apparent that McDonald's not going to go all the way, because Audubon's reading him well. You know, Haddon Heights, he threw a complete game versus them, threw 5 2/3 versus Haddonfield, a full 6 versus Sterling. I don't think this is happening, but I think out of all of the Colonial Liberty opponents that he's faced this year, Audubon has read him the best. One and one count, some out-of-town scores. Top of the second, Camden Academy Charter and Woodstown are tied 0-0. Mainland leads 4-0 over St. Augustine. On the road in Richland. There's a strike. 1-2. One, 2, time is called. McDonald delivers. That's high to Copsetta at the neck, and it's 2-2. Trent Bannell on deck for the Green Wave if the inning continues. And that one's high, 3-2. So this could be a bullpen game right away, and I don't know. I mean, we might be seeing some slugfest signs tonight. 5 runs combined in the second inning, 3 for the visitors, 2 for the home team as Copsetta rips this one to right. That is a fair ball. It gets past Wall, down into the right field corner, and it's a ground rule double. Charlie Copsetta was denied a ground rule double in the first, and now in the second, he does it again, and we're tied up 4-4. So Wiltsey scores, and now Greg Galbraith coming out. I didn't see anybody warming for Gloucester. That might also just be down in the third base bullpen where it's a little bit lowered. The field is a little raised. I'm not sure. This broadcast is brought to you by Garden State Pet Center. Keep your pet happy and healthy today with the most organic food products available in South Jersey. Visit today 7 days a week to keep your pet in tip-top shape at 226 South Whitehorse Pike in Audubon, or visit online anytime at exoticpetsnj.com. And like we said before, all commercials you see on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting are edited, filmed, recorded, and produced by myself. Helps pay for expenses and towards my college fund. So if you're a small business owner who is interested in chipping in, packages start for as low as $250 for 6 months. Send us an email today using the email in the description, thedanwilkinsshow@gmail.com. Time is called. Copsetta, the runner in scoring position for the Green Wave after both Audubon and Gloucester have put up mirrored spectacular innings. 3 for Gloucester, but Audubon has matched it with 3 of their own. As pitch, popped up foul, 0-1. But as we were saying, the schedule for the rest of this week on DWB, Rancocas Valley versus Gloucester Catholic on Tuesday in the Diamond Classic quarterfinals. Lenape versus Cherry Hill West, another round of 8 game at 4 o'clock on Wednesday. We followed it up with Highland and Triton at 7 o'clock from Belmar Rec on Wednesday. Here's the 0-1 to Bannell. McDonald delivers. That's outside. Thursday is going to be a little different. We have partnered with the Gloucester County Institute of Technology to bring you 2 softball games for the GCIT Cheetahs. Thursday the 9th and Friday May 17th between Timber Creek on the 9th and Shawnee on the 17th. That'll be a fun game for us to cover down at GCIT in Sewell. And that's where we'll be on Thursday. Friday, we'll be under the lights from Rutgers Camden as the Paulsboro Red Raiders square up against the Haddon Township Hawks in Colonial Conference action. It'll be the second game that Haddon Township has played under the lights from Rutgers this year. Bannell rips this one in the right. This one's going to wall. This might give Audubon the lead. He picks it up. He fires to the plate. The throw's going to curl to the right. And it's a 5-4 game. So the slugfest continues as Audubon has put up their 4th run of the frame, and they have taken the lead outright for the first time tonight. As this brings up Slavin after the RBI single for Bannell, giving him his 2nd ribby. Here's Joey Slavin. He struck out swinging his first time. First pitch, golfs it towards the Gloucester dugout, and it's foul. Pennsauken leads Bordentown 2-0 in the top of the 2nd. Piscataway and Edison tied up 1-1 in the 3rd. Not too many games going on this Monday, but a couple of games got canceled because of poor field conditions. Haddon Township and Sterling is being played on Sterling's JV field. We had some heavy rain over the weekend. We covered it all on Saturday in a doubleheader versus RCSJ Cumberland and Camden County. Throw back to first, not in time. By the time we got there at 11 o'clock, it was already starting to rain, and then it rained all the way through the time that we left at the end of game 2 at 6 o'clock, really. Here goes the runner. McCormick's got a good jump, and a dive saves the ball from going any further, but a stolen base by Bannell moves him in the scoring position here. 2-1. Slavin takes a curveball for a strike, 2-2. McDonald now up to 45 pitches here in the bottom of the 2nd. Two. Inside, 3-2. 3-2. And Slavin takes ball 4. And the inning continues. Zimmer will now be the 9th man to bat, as Gloucester still has not made a move, and from what I can see, they haven't warmed up anybody in the bullpen either. But McCormick coming out to talk to him. Remember, because Galbraith already came out, he cannot come out again, or else McDonald would have to be taken out of the ball game with the 2 mound visit rule. So Audubon has put up 4 runs in a bit of a surprising turn of events. McDonald looked like he was going to be the X factor, and both of these teams pulled out, you know, their experimental pitchers for this game. Audubon with Slavin, McDonald for Gloucester, and now it seems like neither have made that much of an impact. And the offenses for both have been pretty supreme. Zimmer cracks this one to center field. Pfeffer is there, side retired. So Gloucester stops the bleeding, but a fair amount has already gotten through. A 4-run frame for Audubon, and they lead 5-4 after 2 frames.
Tommy D's Home Design Center has opened a second location on Creek Road in Belmar, operating in Philadelphia for over 25 years and now expanding into South Jersey. Tommy D's is the place to go for kitchen cabinets, countertops, and cabinet accessories, heavily discounted compared to big box retailers. Stop in, take a seat, and watch as our experienced kitchen designer makes the kitchen of your dreams right in front of you. Tommy D's is the best in the business for quality kitchen countertops and cabinets that fit all budgets. Call us today at 856-210-9504 or visit the new location in person on the corner of Creek Road and Harding Avenue in Belmar next to the 42 on-ramp.
With some of the Gloucester guys, I think they're just having a laugh there. You can see some smiles on the faces. So yeah, there's Inkster. I thought something was wrong at first, but now it seems like I just saw them talking over there. Usually the coaches don't interact that much mid-game, but all love there. Ryan Zimmer in relief, and an interesting move here, takes the hill. As now a lot of changes have been made. It appears that Trent Bannell has been moved to behind the plate. Jason Stocklin is now in right field. And I would assume because of that, yeah, Slavin moves to first. So basically what that was that they gave Slavin a little bit of time off in the dugout, and then when the 3rd inning came around, he was well rested enough to come play first base. So this is kind of the funky stuff you can do in high school baseball. You know, there's a lot of Wild West components to it where you can just move guys around in and out of the pitcher spot, you know, kind of freely. Like, you can put a pitcher in 2 times non-concurrently in a game if you needed to, and it's happened before in situations where a game has gone to really, really deep extra innings. as it's 3-2 from Zimmer. Zimmer with a career 3.08 ERA. He's been pretty consistent. 3.11 last year, 3.06 this year, and that's ball 4. The 12th walk he surrendered in 16 innings. As just like with Joey Slavin, this is his first appearance of the season versus a conference opponent. He pitched 3 versus Kingsway, 4 1/3 versus Delsey, 2 2/3 versus Rancocas Valley, and 6 innings with 107 pitches and a 5-2 win for Audubon over PVI in the Coaches versus Cancer Classic, and Capseta almost had trouble with it. Whew, that was close. One away. You could tell as soon as he started to play happy feet a little bit, he started to stumble a little bit in center, so luckily he brings it in. So Daly got a walk. The only batter not to bat in the second. A combined 17 men came to the plate. 8 in the top of the second, 9 in the bottom half. As after Zierfoss's line out, here's McDonald. Runner goes. Bannell's got a good pop. The throw not in time. So a stolen base puts the tying run back in scoring position. 0-1. This broadcast is brought to you by Tommy D's Home Improvement. Make your dream kitchen come true today with wholesale kitchen cabinets and countertops at heavily discounted rates. Visit today at 612 Creek Road in Belmar, next to the 42 on-ramp. No balls, 1 strike to the pitcher, McDonald. A bunt, and he does not pull back in time, so it's a strike. McDonald finished the second with 49 pitches, so this is almost certainly going to be a bullpen match. Maybe not from here on out. They might give McDonald another inning, but I don't see it going much further than that. Saw the curveball well, but he fouled it back. 0-2. We know McDonald is good as a hitter, as a pitcher, but he hasn't been a half-bad hitter either. 18 for 50, a 360 average, all singles, with 6 RBIs, 3 walks, and 9 stolen bases. So he's been a multifaceted threat for Gloucester. Swing and a miss. First strikeout for Zimmer. Here's out number 2. Here's the DH, Caleb Wright, batting from the left-handed batter's box. He struck out his first time. So Gloucester put up 3 runs in the second. Audubon responded with 4 in the bottom half. And now Wright pops this one up, third base side, going over Caladros. He calls for it, and it's caught, side retired. Audubon gets out of the jam and leaves the runner in scoring position. Gloucester trails 5-4, going to the bottom of the third. Bottom of the third, Gloucester is sticking with their gut as Joey McDonald is in for another inning of work. Audubon leads 5-4 after 2.5 frames, starting it off with Nick Caladros. As we said, Gloucester brought 8 men to the plate in the top half of the second. Audubon responded with a 9-batter frame, scoring 4, as it looks like Gavin Zane is going out to the first base side to warm up from the flat ground. That one's high. And it's 2-0. Caladros and the Dempsey brothers, 6, 7, and 8, lead us off in the third. Takes that one high again, 3-0. I would repeat what Pfeffer just said. I think he's rushing it a little bit. I think now that he's been faced with that pressure, and I'm sure because he just saw the pitcher and catcher that would replace him walk right behind the plate, that doesn't exactly make you feel great about yourself. But a 4-pitch walk to Caladros brings up Jack Dempsey. Audubon looking to extend their lead. I mean, look, this is not the same Gloucester team that Audubon beat 18-2 last year. You know, Audubon has scored 10 runs in in each of the last 5 appearances that they've had versus Gloucester. There comes a throw back behind the runner. Medler applied the tag, but it's not in time. Finishing up with what we were talking about for the schedule for this week, Paulsboro and Haddon Township is 7 o'clock on Friday. And then Shawnee and Audubon at 11 a.m. Saturday. Another throw down the first, not in time. You can tell McDonald's a little rustled right now. His feathers are a little shaken. I think what he needs to do is just kind of lock in and not worry about that runner, because it's the bottom of the order. You know you can take care of him. But when you're throwing balls like that, that doesn't really give you or a lot of other guys on your club a vote of confidence. Dempsey singled in the second as a part of that 4-run barrage, and later came around to score. Dempsey pops this one up. Caladros has to go back. This one's in shallow right field. Wall has it, and luckily for Caladros, he's able to scramble back in time. They went for the hit and run, but it almost had the opposite effect. There's one away. And that's what you need. You need those kind of weak pop-ups so that you can get yourself in a groove. You know, you don't want to worry about that runner at first. Strike called, 0-1. But this is the time for McDonald to shine. If you get Dempsey and Stocklin out here, or even if you ground into a double play, last thing you want to do is face Tyler Wiltsey, because that's what the problem was. They just called a balk. They just called a balk against McDonald. And now Caladros will advance to second. So now Caladros is in scoring position, so that takes care of the double play threat, but this is kind of what we were talking about. The 0-1. That's down. 1-1. I mean, the problems in the second for McDonald started because of the fact that you got the first 2 outs pretty easily. You made Caladros pop out and you had Dempsey fly out. But then once you allowed Wiltsey to get back up, he had that 2-run triple, and that kind of sent you guys into overdrive to where you would then give up 2 more RBIs. I mean, this would be a very different ball game right now if Wiltsey doesn't hit that triple, or even if he doesn't bat. If they just get that 3rd out, that's all you need. Here's the 1-2. Fires it in the dirt. That was a cricket pitch right there. I think that got a couple wickets there, and it's 2-2. I've tried watching cricket. It's very different from baseball. It looks similar if you're just watching a 5-second snippet, but it is not
the same at all. You're actually supposed to bounce the pitch. As we'll hold off on that tangent, as McCormick is being attended to. You can see that ball really spiked in the dirt and then it hit McCormick. Galbraith came out to check on him, and it appears that he's okay. I mean, I don't even know who you would put in to catch besides McCormick. Possibly Jason Hall, I'm not sure, but 2 balls, 2 strikes to Bryce Dempsey. Grounds this one out towards short. Siebert has trouble with it, and he'll get through. So Dempsey reaches on an E6, and Audubon's chances of extending the lead have just increased by a bunch. As now 2 runners will be on. Caladros did not advance. So now Stockland being up with a chance to turn the tide. I mean, again, the fact that this 3rd inning is happening in the situation at all is very different depending on what happens with Tyler Welty. You know, if Stockland doesn't get that single in the 2nd, and if he gets out, then we're talking about an entirely different situation. Because Welty would lead off the 3rd, and you have a clean slate. You would 100% have a clean slate. But now you don't have that clean slate. And that's kind of what set everything into motion. Because all 4 Audubon RBIs were after Wiltse's 2-run triple. I mean, you had the 2-run triple, then you had the RBI double on the ground rule by Copsetta, and then the RBI single by Bell. So none of that happens if Stockland doesn't single. We'd be talking about an incredibly different ball game. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, and a 1-run lead for Audubon with 2 runners on here in the 3rd. Curveball, no, with the letters. I think maybe that might have been just because of stature there for Stockland. Just because he's a little shorter. Strike zone might be adapted to that, which would be fair. (3-1). I mean, it sounds silly, but the strike zone is not uniform. It depends on the batter's height, where it can be from the bottom of the letters of the jersey to the top of the knee. That's ball 4. Stockland walks, and now Wiltsey has his time to shine after all. Oh boy. And Galbraith coming out, seeing if Gavin Zane is ready. And yeah, here he is. So they will take out McDonald. The pitcher and catcher were actually warming up on the sidewalk behind the fencing. And Gavin Zane now walking out from the first base dugout to replace McDonald. But nowhere to run, nowhere to hide for Gloucester. Audubon's got the bases loaded with 1 away as McDonald goes to the dugout for a DWB pitching change. Gavin Zane is on here in the 3rd as the final line for McDonald is 2 strikeouts, 5 runs. He is inheriting all 3 runners on base for Audubon with Tyler Wiltsey coming up. And just having a quick discussion here with the home plate umpire, just making sure everything's good there. But Zane coming in, and we'll have a pitching change for McDonald. 5-4 Audubon. We'll be right back.
Gavin Zane, the junior right-hander, takes over as we've got a 1-for-1 swap here. Pfeffer comes in from center field, and the starting pitcher, Joseph McDonald, now moves out to center. But Gavin Zane has been pretty nice for Gloucester this year. A 0.62 ERA in 11 1/3 innings, 7 walks, 9 strikeouts. As the first pitch to Wiltsey is down. Wiltsey with an unusual stat line, 2 for 2 with 2 triples. Zane has appeared in 6 games, where this is his 6th appearance. He was the player of the game in the Camden County tournament versus Sterling on April 5th. As there's a swing and a miss. 1-1. Through 3 versus Gateway, 2 versus Haddon Township, 2 versus Kings Christian, and 1 1/3 versus Haddonfield, and Gloucester's upset 9-7 win over the Bulldogs. (2-1). And now already 3 pitches in, a mound visit with McCormick and Zane. I mean, look, you know, it's no secret the damage that Wiltsey's done. He's driven the ball into the gap twice. He hit one to deep center, then hit one to deep right center, but it's a little interesting. Because now he's got the bases loaded and a chance to do even more damage. Some colossal works here in the 3rd. Maybe he could get 3 extra base hits in 3 at-bats. It would be quite the scene. That's down. 3-1. Strike called. 3-2. I mean, the way not to do it, you don't want to walk in Wiltsey here. You just got to square him up 1-1 and face him straight on. 3-2. Charlie Copsetta, who is 1 for 2, who had a ground rule double in the 2nd. He bats next for the Green Wave. 3-2. Wiltsey got on top of that, and it's foul. I mean, Zane's got a good fastball. He's got a lot of up and down movement in the zone where he can throw it high and be effective. He can throw it low and be effective. He doesn't have too much break, not as much as you would want on the off speed, but it's still effective. I mean, his fastball can definitely trip some guys up just with its delivery. 3-2. Rockets this one foul. That one almost hit the photographer down the 3rd base line. Mariah Helmbold down there. You can see she's got her hand over her heart. That's a spooker right there. Don't break that camera lens, Tyler. You break it, you bought it. 3-2, bases loaded. 1 out and a 1-run game for Audubon. Strike 3 on the inside corner. Wiltsey threw his bat, thought it was ball 4, but he goes down on strikes, and there is 2 away. That was huge. That was absolutely huge. The fact that he struck him out with the bases loaded, that's the biggest tranquilizer you could have on Audubon tonight. He's already done damage. He's already 2 for 2, 2 triples. He was threatening to hit another one in the gap with those line drives that he's had on those foul balls. And now Copsetta ahead on that one, and it's 0-1. Your game time weather here in Audubon, 74 degrees and cloudy. It might be raining the next 3 days, so hopefully things hold off because we've got a very exciting week up ahead. That one's out. No, called a strike. 0-2. No, it threw me off because it popped out of the catcher's glove, but it is a strike. 74 degrees, wind blowing west to northwest or right to left field at 4 miles per hour, a very, very light breeze. 0-2. Copsetta pops this one up. That one's going out. It lands short of the bullpen. 0-2. But this is the biggest chance yet for Gloucester to shift the momentum. If you give up 2 runs here, it could very well turn into a runaway game. But if he gets him out and, kind of silences Audubon a little bit, then you're back in motion. That one's high, though. Not where you wanted it. It's 1-2. As we said, he's kind of got, when he throws that fastball high, it almost looks like a cut fastball where it kind of has that XY movement, not too much on either front, but enough to make a difference. I mean, it's not dancing out there, but it's making that subtle movement that can definitely, in a game of inches, make a difference. Inside, 2-2. Even Greg Galbraith came out of the dugout. He thought that was strike 3. But it's 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, bases loaded. Gavin Zane, after striking out Tyler Wiltsey, looks to add another to his wall. Strike 3, he got him. Copsetta goes down looking, and Audubon, in a crazy turn of events, leaves the bases loaded. I didn't think that Gloucester could do it, but they took out McDonald, and Gavin Zane gets the job done. Back-to-back strikeouts in his first appearance versus the Green Wave, and the side is retired. We go to the 4th, 5-4, Green Wave.
Garden State Pet Center is an independently owned full-service pet store. Our specialty is promoting companionship between people and animals by providing the healthiest product choices available, including all-natural foods, supplements that support and relieve health issues, and innovative products for pet parents. Our goal is to provide our customers with a relaxing environment, and while we're not striving to be the biggest store on the East Coast, we're striving to be the best. No other pet store will make you feel at home like we do. At Garden State Pet Center, we view pets as members of the family. We don't believe in fast, high-pressure sales, but instead matching up the right pet with the right owners, as you are making a lifelong commitment. Together with our team members, we would like your visit to our store to be both enjoyable and educational. Simply drop in and take a look around. View the birds, reptiles, small animals, toys, food, cages, and miscellaneous items. Learn of the services we have to offer and decide for yourself if this is the store you'd like to call your home away from home.
Victor Santucci, owner of Garden State Pet Center. Visit us today at 226 South Whitehorse Pike in Audubon, New Jersey. We're open 7 days a week for all of your pets' needs.
All right, top of the 4th as Ryan Zimmer digs in for Gloucester, or digs in against Gloucester here. It's time for DWB Trivia Time. Today's question is, on this date in 1975, the Oakland Athletics released Herb Washington, who spent 2 years on the team and even won a World Series ring despite never grabbing a bat and never stepping foot on the field to play defense. What sport did he play at Michigan State before going to the big leagues? Was it A, curling, B, snowboarding, C, track and field, or D, equestrian? Although I would love to see I feel like equestrian and baseball would be a very fun combination, but we will find out the answer in the bottom of the 4th inning. It's 1-2. To Wall, the number 9 hitter, as Zimmer delivers a fastball upstairs. He got him. Strikeout number 2 for Zimmer. 1 away. And here is the leadoff man, Seth McCormick. He has burned Audubon a couple of times tonight. He's got an RBI, and he's 2 for 2. So both leadoff men have gone a combined 4 for 5 with 3 RBIs. 0-1. One. McCormick doubled and came around to score in the first, and then had an RBI single in the second. Nice breaking ball, 12-6 action there. 1-2. swing and a miss. He got him again. 2 down. Zimmer with 3 strikeouts in his last 4 at-bats, all swinging, and there's 2 away. Here's Siebert now. By the way, another couple out-of-town score updates. Woodstown leads Camden Academy Charter 3-0 in the 4th inning. A 3-run home run by Rocco String gave them the lead. Pennsauken leads Bordentown 2-0 in the top of the 4th. As it's 0-2. Eastern leads Cherokee 2-0 in the 5th inning. Somerville leads Rutgers Prep 2-0, 4-9 this year, as that one's going to go back behind the plate. Trent Bandle's throw is a successful strikeout on a drop third strike, and Ryan Zimmer has struck out the side. So Audubon and Gloucester have kind of mellowed out here. It's 5-4 going to the bottom of the 4th after a wild first couple of frames. All right, it's time for DWB Trivia time. Today's question is, on this day in 1975, the Oakland A's released Herb Washington after winning a World Series ring and spending 2 years with the team despite never grabbing a bat and never playing the field. What sport did he play at Michigan State before joining Major League Baseball? Was it A, curling, B, snowboarding, C, track and field, or D, equestrian? Vince, what's your guess on this?
I'm going to go...
Oh, that got him in the foot.
Snowboarding.
Snowboarding, oh. Well, you'd be incorrect because the career pinch runner was a sprinter at Michigan State, and an Olympian at that. He competed in the 1974 Olympics for track and field, and in the same year, he signed with the Oakland Athletics to be an exclusive pinch runner. You see that very rarely in Major League Baseball. The modern equivalent would be somebody like Terrence Gore of the Royals. As Slavin pokes this one through the left side. No, Wiener stops it. What a play. Gavin Wiener with a nice play, rolling over himself to stop the base hit, and he gets it done. So a 4-3 ground out for Slavin, and there's one away. So a hit by pitch and a ground out advance Bannell promptly to second. But this brings up Zimmer now, the pitcher.
Is this on YouTube? What's your name for the thing? So I got to lose one. That's it, Dan Wilkins.
First pitch to Zimmer. Is a strike, 0-1. But yes, the A's employed Herb Washington for just 2 seasons in 1974 and 1975. They released him after a not-so-successful 1975 season, but he stole over 50 Major League bases. Unfortunately, the moment that he'll mostly be known for is getting caught stealing. Because if you look up highlights of Herb Washington, because video video recording was scarce in the early 70s. The only highlight that's available on YouTube of Herb Washington from MLB's official YouTube channel is of him getting called out trying to steal third in the 1974 World Series. That's the only highlight that's available of Herb. There's a ground ball in the left field. Bandel's going to round third. Here comes the throw from Zierfoss. It might beat him, but no. Daly cuts it off. RBI single for Zimmer, and it's 6-4. But yeah, Herb Washington was a sprinter at Michigan State, and the A's decided, you know what? Let's get wild. We'll sign a Olympic sprinter to our baseball team. He never has to grab a bat. He never has to take the field because he has no other baseball skill. He puts on his uniform, he puts on a helmet, and he goes out to first base, and he was good too. It was a short-lived experiment because Olympic sprinters don't go through the same conditioning regimen that baseball players do, so he was not as effective, especially with the long-term effects. But it still was a fun experiment in the early 70s. Throw back to first, not in time. And I know the words experiment in the early 70s definitely could mean plenty of different things. That's why Steely Dan was so popular back then. One out and a runner on after Zimmer's RBI single, and that hits Caladros in the back. So a hit by pitch advances Quinn to second. And the second hit by pitch of the inning puts Gloucester in a little trouble here. Quinn advances to second, Caladros on first, and just a quick mound visit here between McCormick and Gavin Zane. Audubon has scored in every inning except for the third, where they left the bases loaded. They've already gotten a run across in this inning. First pitch. Strike called to Jack Dempsey, and it's 0-1. Ryan Zimmer ended his second full inning of work with 23 pitches. I don't see any action in the Audubon bullpen, so maybe they'll keep him through and through for the fifth, but this is right now not looking like it's going to be a 10-run game. I mean, you know, look, last time these guys played, it was 18-2. They played again in 2022. It was, you know, like 13-3, something like that. You know, Scott Lynch had 2 home runs in the game. It wasn't, you know, it wasn't exactly quality baseball, but Gloucester's playing quality baseball. As divisional champs for the first time since 2005, you know, they told me if they can get the pitching together, they got it. They did get the lead runner at third, so Quinn is out, but the 5 unassisted fielder's choice is the second out of the frame, and it puts runners on first and second here for Bryce Dempsey. 6-4 Audubon in the bottom of the fourth. This broadcast is brought to you by our good folks over at KP1 Designs. Get your commission today by following our man Caleb Lane on Twitter/X at KP1 Racing Designs. Down 1-0. If the inning continues, Jason Stockland would be next. He is 1 for 1. He had a single in the second and walked in the third, and was later left on base. He was the last batter that McDonald faced in his short outing tonight. Here's the 1-0. That one is high, and it's 2-0. Zane steps off, not in time. 2 balls, no strikes from Zane, and that one almost hit him. Would have been the 3rd hit by pitch of the frame. And obviously not a good sign for Gloucester, but they're going to try to reel themselves back into this. 2 runners on, 2 outs in a 2-run lead. Zane with the do-or-die 3-0. Dempsey shows bunt, pulls back, and it's a strike. 3-1. That one almost nipped him too. And that's ball 4. So Gloucester obviously having a concern with control. Caladros on 3rd, and both Dempsey brothers are aboard here. As Jason Stocklin bats. He was the DH, but after the first pitching change, he moved to right field and has been there ever since. With Zimmer taking the hill, they moved Bannell to home plate. Moved Bannell to the catcher spot, obviously, that's what I meant. That one's high, 1-0. Inside, 2-0. You can't walk in Stocklin here. You know, you could probably throw a ball down the middle. I'm not saying, you know, take care of him, but you know that zone is going to be a little smaller. I think right now Zane's just a little frustrated. He's trying to throw as hard as he can, and it's just right now not sticking. That is a strike called on a ball that Stocklin brushed back on, and it's 2-1. 2 balls, 1 strike. And for yet another appearance, the bases are loaded for the 2nd inning in a row. And it's 3-1. Wiltsey on deck if the inning continues. He is 2 for 3. He has 2 triples. He's done a lot of running tonight. 3 balls, 1 strike, and the pitch. There's another one, 3-2. Zane's been punching that inside spot. Some of them have gone his way, some of them haven't. But here we go, nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and the bases are loaded for the 9-hole hitter, Stocklin. Zane kicks and delivers the payoff, which is floated into right center field. That's going to drop. It's going to roll just shy of the wall. Wall picks it up. 2 runs are going to score. Stocklin gets into second base with a clutch 2-out double with the bases loaded. And in fact, you know what? He cleared the bases on that double. So it is now 9-4. That was huge. Yeah, I mean, look, they are not out of the woods yet, because now you got Wiltsey. And Gloucester, after taking a big lead early, have now kind of come crashing down. They'll have to get him back in the 5th. Outside to Wiltsey, 1-0. Audubon has brought no less than 5 men to the plate in every inning. 5 in the first, 9 in the second, 6 in the third, and now up to batter number 8 in inning number 4. So they are all, that one got Wiltsey right in the shoulder. So now, here is Copsetta. I mean, we're already at the 4th rotation in the order, and it's only the 4th inning. Audubon's put up 2 separate 4 spots, and they've been getting plunked. That's the 3rd hit by pitch of this inning, because Bannell started it off with a plunk. Caladros got plunked. Dempsey almost got plunked, but instead walked. I feel like everybody has had their taste with Gavin Zane as Copsetta launches one to right, and it's fouled. Onto the grass heap over there. 0-1. Audubon leads Gloucester 9-4 in the fourth. That's down. One. Audubon now at their 9th batter of the frame. And fouled back. Everybody got a piece of that one, and it's 1-2. In the dirt, that one goes to the backstop. Both runners advance. Two. That one's high and away, sending him diving. And this game's starting to unravel. You could feel it in the air. You could see it on the scoreboard. Three balls, 2 strikes. Looking to load the bases. Copsetta launches this one to center. McDonald going back. He makes the catch, side retired. Audubon puts up 4 runs, and now they have 9 runs through 4 in an offensive outburst tonight. They're up by 5, going to the 5th.
In life, the road ahead is full of possibilities, but to navigate it safely, you need the right skills. Harper Driving School is the premier driving school serving Gloucester, Salem, and Camden counties. With experienced instructors, many of whom are teachers in local schools, we are dedicated to your success and will help you master the road with confidence. With an over 95% success rate of students passing their road test on their first try, you know your student will be in good hands while embarking on a huge step of their young adult lives, all while avoiding the lines at the DMV and getting insurance discounts.
We chose Harper, and so should you.
Top of the 5th inning, and Gloucester's catcher, Seth McCormick, warming up in the pen. As the first pitch is a strike called to Gloucester to start the 5th. Russell Medler, Gavin Weiner, and Aiden Daly. 3, 4, and 5 hitters for Gloucester in a 5-point game as time was called before the pitch was thrown. Wanted to give a special shout out to Audubon class of 2022 Emily McCutcheon, who earlier today in the NJAC tournament set the Division III record for most innings pitched in a single game. Remember, softball with the underhanded motion, most pitchers are expected to throw complete games, and there's really no such thing as a bullpen in softball. But in a 1-0 game, Emily McCutcheon had a 20-inning shutout. 230 pitches thrown, 11 hits, no runs, 5 walks, and 6 strikeouts. As there's a swing and a miss. 2-2. Unbelievable. She has been an important starter at Rowan for the past 2 years. It's a swing and a miss. Medler down on strikes. 1 away. Five strikeouts now for Zimmer, as here is Wiener. Swing and a miss. 0-1. He went for a quick pitch, and the umpire kind of scolded him a little bit. He said, "My hand's up, no pitch." That doesn't gain you any favorability with the strike zone, I'll tell you that. Swing and a miss again. 0-2. Yeah, he went for some sort of funky quick pitch. Umpire had his hand up, and now he goes for the quick pitch, and that's a base hit. So a quick pitch, a quick hit, and Gavin Wiener knocks a single over the middle. There's a runner on now for Daly. Zimmer's not happy with something. You could see he just barked something over back to his infield. I don't know what he said, but he doesn't look happy. I think Bandel's coming out there to kind of console him, which he's basically just being told, relax, 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 which I don't know what I mean, I think he was very frustrated with the fact that he tried to get that quick pitch off and it didn't go. But that's the kind of move that rattles a pitcher. And that rattling can either be very short or quite long, and very, very long lasting with heavy repercussions. You don't know what you're doing. 1-1. If you don't know how to get out of adversity and calm yourself down, then you're going to be in big trouble. Especially with Gloucester's middle of the order. Obviously not something that they want to mess with. Strike on the inside corner. 1-2. But like I said, trying to, making that move that upsets the umpire a little bit, that doesn't gain you any favorability. There's a ground ball. This could be 2. Wiltsey flips it to second for 1. On the first, not in time. So they get the lead runner. Wiener is retired. Daly gets on via the fielder's choice. And there's 2 down. So here's Zierfoss now. Zierfoss 1 for 2 with a single and a line out. With the pitcher and now center fielder McDonald on deck. Woodstown leads Camden Academy Charter 4-0 in the bottom of the 5th. Pensauken leads Bordentown 2-0 in the top of the 5th. Throw down to second base. Beat him. He got him. Zimmer's hyped up. Bandel's hyped up. Side retired. And the inning is over. Things are heating up here. It's 9-4. Going to the bottom of the 5th.
Tommy D's Home Design Center has opened a second location on Creek Road in Belmar, operating in Philadelphia for over 25 years and now expanding into South Jersey. Tommy D's is the place to go for kitchen cabinets, countertops, and cabinet accessories, heavily discounted compared to big box retailers. Stop in, take a seat, and watch as our experienced kitchen designer makes the kitchen of your dreams right in front of you. Tommy D's is the best in the business for quality kitchen countertops and cabinets that fit all budgets. Call us today at 856-210-9504 or visit the new location in person on the corner of Creek Road and Harding Avenue in Belmar next to the 42 on-ramp.
Bottom of the fifth inning, Gloucester goes for a change. They relieve Gavin Zane of his duties, and they now bring in number 7 and the two-way player Seth McCormick. He takes over here in the fifth. After Gloucester went down in order, they got a single through, however, nothing more out of it. As we start off with Bannell, Slavin, and Zimmer after Audubon is going to try to extend after a 4-run fourth inning. Second time tonight that they've scored in a 4-run bunch. One-0. Line drive, speared at third by Daly. He got him. What a throw and what a pick. Playing on the infield grass, he had 3/4 of the reaction time, and he still gets it done. One away. Here's Slavin. He is 0 for 2. Slavin takes inside. Oh no, called a strike. Another South Jersey update, not related to baseball, but in the third pick of the USHL draft, or the United States Hockey League draft, Blake Zelensky has just been selected by the Des Moines Buccaneers. And he comes out of Eastern Regional High School, not affiliated with the NJSIAA, but he was the 3rd overall pick in the USHL draft. Now, they are not NHL affiliated, but they are strictly by definition amateur, but
definitely the premier junior ice hockey league in America. So pretty cool that Voorhees gets some representation. It's 2-2 to Slavin. Had a strike called to start, and now has evened the count. He struck out and grounded out in his 2 at-bats, but also has drawn a walk. McCormick delivers, and that one's inside, 3-2. McCormick throws, and a swing and a miss. Cut fastball in the inside corner. Sends Slavin packing, and there's 2 away. And here is Zimmer. Zimmer has an RBI to his name tonight. That one's down, 1-0. Another strike with a beautiful pop of the glove. One ball, 1 strike with 2 outs, nobody on, and Zimmer, whoo. Did it hit him?
Yeah.
They're saying it hit him. And now Greg Galbraith is coming out not happy. They're saying it hit the glove before it hit Zimmer. Russell Medler is now coming in, and he's getting an earful here from the umpire. They just sent Tommy Quinn back. Are they sending Zimmer back up to the plate? Are they overturning it? I'm not sure. Galbraith just gave an earful to Medler. I don't know what that was all about. And yes, they will overturn that. I did not think it hit him. I did not think for a single second that it hit him. And I'm here 400 feet away. And if I can see it, and that, yeah, that's a problem. Zimmer swings and misses. Siebert thought that was strike 3. And now we're back to 2-2 with 2 outs, nobody on. McCormick looking to shut him down and go into the 6th with a brand new slate. Fly ball, shallow right, going over, and it is foul. Yeah, Gloucester made a good case. They made a very good case. And I don't know why Galbraith gave the earful to Medler specifically. He might have said something to the umpire, and he said, hey, don't do that. Obviously with less kind words than I gave there, but pokes this one over the middle. Picked up by Winter, throw to first is in time, side retired. Audubon goes down 1-2-3 after a bit of controversy in the Zimmer at bat. We go to the 6th, 9-4 Audubon.
top of the 6th. Ryan Zimmer continues his work for the Green Wave in a 9-4 lead. The 1-2-3 frame for Gloucester with Seth McCormick on the hill was the first time tonight that Audubon brought less than 5 men to the plate, as they had gone well into their 4th rotation by this point. As it'll be Zierfoss, McDonald, and Wright. Why? Well, Gloucester wants a ball called here. They're going to say no pitch. I don't know if time was called or what, but the batter stepped out of the box, and now he did it again. Now the dugout for Gloucester is chirping. Greg Galbraith has something to say. Oh, oh, no, you know what? No. The umpire just charged 2 balls against Zimmer. So both times they counted as balls. It's now 3-0. What in the world? And he never even lifted the bat off his shoulders. 4-pitch walk. You can tell Zimmer's frustrated here. He is frustrated. He's kind of had to play a circus game with the boys in blue tonight. He's had trouble with them, with the time and with the count, with the strikes. I mean, the typical grievance with a pitcher, you can see he's not slowing down at all. He's trying to quick pitch. He's trying to do everything to throw off Gloucester. That one's high, and it's 1-1. But when you lose control as one of the higher up priority pitchers on this Audubon team, something's wrong. Something is not right here. Swing and a miss. 1-2. And I haven't seen this out of Zimmer before. I haven't seen him get visibly frustrated like this. I haven't seen him get this, this jaded while pitching. There's a little floater in the right. Stockland going in. He makes the catch. Zierfoss will retreat to first, and McDonald is retired. 1 away now. This brings up not Caleb Wright, but instead a new face. So we've got a pinch hitter here. Number 23, Anthony Struzzulo, takes outside. 1-0, so he will hit for the DH right. I mean, there's enough grievance with a lot of pitchers with the strike zone, but you could tell Zimmer's grief is a little deeper than that. There's a strike called. And again, playing those kind of mind games with the time being called and everything, they do not gain you any favorability whatsoever. If you want to talk about, that was something. I mean, people want to talk about calling it both ways. They have, but the strike zones kind of resemble a Jackson Pollock painting. There's a ground ball out to short. Wiltsey flips it to second for 1 on the first, is a mile high. That one's going to go on to Walnut Street. And Struzzulo gets the fielder's choice and advances to second on the E4. They tried to turn a 6-4-3 double play, but to no avail, that is. Here is Wall. Zimmer's just got to punch the zone here. 2 outs, runner in scoring position. I wouldn't say the stakes are too high. Obviously a couple of dominoes can fall and turn this game on its head, but Audubon's leading by 5. And again, this is not the 5-inning, 20-0 beatdown that we've seen in previous years. Gloucester is holding their own. They've probably got the best well-rounded lineup in years, really. Like we said, last year was their first Patriot Division championship since 2005. Wall well behind on that one. 1-1. If the inning continues after Wall, if he gets aboard, as he walked and struck out tonight. McCormick, the pitcher, will be next. That one is down. McCormick had a scoreless first frame on the hill, coming in for Gavin Zane for relief in the fifth. He threw 14 pitches and took care of business pretty easily. 2 balls, 1 strike. You're on the top of the sixth, and a swing and a miss. Wall chasing high there. And now Zimmer looking to finish the job. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Struzzulo on second after the error for Gloucester. Fastball inside corner. He got him, strike 3. Side retired. Wall strikes out for the second time, and Audubon retains their lead. It's 9-4 going to the bottom of the sixth.
Garden State Pet Center is an independently owned full-service pet store. Our specialty is promoting companionship between people and animals by providing the healthiest product choices available, including all-natural foods, supplements that support and relieve health issues, and innovative products for pet parents. Our goal is to provide our customers with a relaxing environment, and while we're not striving to be the biggest store on the East Coast, we're striving to be the best. No other pet store will make you feel at home like we do. At Garden State Pet Center, we view pets as members of the family. We don't believe in fast, high-pressure sales, but instead matching up the right pet with the right owners, as you are making a lifelong commitment. Together with our team members, we would like your visit to our store to be both enjoyable and educational. Simply drop in and take a look around. View the birds, reptiles, small animals, toys, food, cages, and miscellaneous items. Learn of the services we have to offer and decide for yourself if this is the store you'd like to call your home away from home.
Victor Santucci, owner of Garden State Pet Center. Visit us today at 226 South Whitehorse Pike in Audubon, New Jersey. We're open 7 days a week for all of your pets' needs.
Audubon and Gloucester right here in the bottom of the sixth as Gloucester got taken care of. Wall struck out looking to retire the side as the two-way phenom, Seth McCormick, squares up here in the sixth after a 1-2-3 frame in relief to start versus Nick Caladros. And here's the first pitch. Strike at the letters, 0-1. An interesting anecdote that both of the starting catchers in this game are currently pitching. Ryan Zimmer for Audubon and McCormick for Gloucester. Both of them started out behind the plate and now move 60 feet in front. 1-1. Don't forget, tomorrow, weather permitting, we cover Diamond Classic quarterfinal baseball between the Rancocas Valley Red Devils and the Gloucester Catholic Rams from Joe Barth Field, with a doubleheader on Wednesday between Lenape and Cherry Hill West at 3:45 in another Diamond Classic quarterfinal, and then Highland versus Triton under the lights from Belmar Rec for a 7 o'clock night game. That'll be a fun one for Tri-County Liberty. Thursday is going to be Timber Creek versus GCIT softball. And Friday will be Paulsboro versus Haddon Township in Rutgers Camden's Night Classic. 7 o'clock on a Friday night. Got to be a fun one. 3 balls, 1 strike to Caladros. He'll be followed up by the Dempsey twins. Jack first, Bryce second. And McCormick's 3-1. Fouled back. Headed towards somebody's car. And that's out of play. Some people have brand new cars that are just parked. Some really nice, $30,000, $40,000 cars that are just parked down the first base line waiting to get smashed by a foul ball. Our car has 2 dents of its own. Both from throwing errors. One by Gabe McCracken, slipped through the fence and hit our door. And then a foul ball by Tyler Wiltsey 2 years ago just missed the window by about 6 inches and actually hit the roof rail on the top of the car, but it almost hit the side window and would have been a tough call to Safe Light. Not sponsored, but Tommy Quinn pinch running for Caladros, which makes me think he's going to close this one out in the 7th, assuming that Audubon does not get the 5 runs needed to send us home early. Saturday, though, we'll be back in Audubon for a classic non-conference rivalry between Shawnee and Audubon. The game ended on a 4-3 controversial Shawnee win as Jackson Logar threw a complete game, almost did, but Shawnee walked it off. Audubon had no hits through 4 innings. Joey Slavin broke it up last year, and the game almost ended in a scuffle, if you will, between Shawnee and Audubon after a celebration that Audubon took offense to. 1-0. That one's high. 2-0. So going to be a nice rematch. Obviously not everybody from that team last year is still there, but the sentiment is still there. I mean, you know, I don't see too many non-conference rivalries with as much fire as Shawnee and Audubon. They don't even play anywhere near the same conference. But Audubon gave them trouble last year, and Shawnee got the last laugh, but does Audubon clap back this year with a little more action? It's 2-1. Dempsey at the dish with Tommy Quinn on second base. By the way, Phillies lead the Giants 5-1 in the 7th, as here's a bunt perfectly back to the mound. McCormick's throw is in time, and a nice look to hold Quinn at second. 1 away. Bryce Harper at a 3-run opposite field home run to give the Phils the lead that they have still held on to. Cherokee just walked off Eastern 3-2. Cherokee's pinch hitter Nate Linden got a walk-off single with 2 outs in the 7th. 2-out, 2-run single to win the game. There's a strike. Pennsauken leads Bordentown 3-2 in the 6th inning. Kelwin Batista, the Rutgers Camden commit, just hit a 2-run home run to right center field to extend the lead for Pennsauken, to give them the lead, that is. 0-1, fouled back, and it's 0-2. Woodstown leads Camden Academy Charters 7-0 in the 6th inning. And for reference, Gloucester played Camden Academy Charter last year, and they won that game 20-0 in 5 innings. So they are giving Woodstown the full 7, not letting them go home early. Strike 3. And Dempsey goes down on strikes to bring up Stockland. Stockland takes low, 1-0. And RCSJ Gloucester, my future university, just beat Salem Community College baseball 6-3 to clinch the #1 seed in the Region 19 tournament. By the way, Mainland leads St. Augustine 4-1 after 5 in Cape Atlantic play. Strike called. And in a big upset up in the Skyland Conference, Howell just beat Bridgewater Raritan 3-2. A top 10 team in the state just went down to Howell, home of the Rebels. On the road, too. Bridgewater Raritan was at home up there in the Bridgewater area. 1-1, and a swing and a miss. 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Audubon looking to extend the lead and get double digits on the board. One, two, no, time is called, and McCormick just did a little pirouette on the mound. The pitcher is encouraged to release the ball when time is called in the middle of their motion so that it's good for their arm to, you know, to be able to recover. But That kind of motion is just natural. Strike 3, they're going to throw down to first. Medler gets it. Side retired. So Stockland goes down on strikes, and for the first time in over 15 years, an Audubon versus Gloucester game will go the full 7 innings. First time since 2012, I apologize, first time in 12 years that a game will go to full 7. Audubon leads 9-4 after 6. Top of the 7th inning, Zimmer looking to close it out. Strike called, 0-1. Of course, Audubon and Gloucester seems like it's been a rivalry forever, but it really hasn't been. Gloucester joined the Colonial Conference in 2020, swapping places with Overbrook. So these teams haven't really been facing off year after year for that long, and they've never been in the same division for baseball. They've been in the same division for a couple of sports, like for basketball and for soccer, from what I can recall, but don't remember them ever being a part of the same division in baseball. There's a liner in the right center field. That one goes to the wall, bounces off the sign. Stockland's got it. He'll throw it down to second base, and getting in there, standing up, Seth McCormick with leadoff double in the 7th. So Seth McCormick, even if Gloucester doesn't win this game, he's put on a heck of a show. 2 scoreless relief innings and 3 hits, including 2 doubles. So give McCormick his flowers. I mean, the fact that he started out as the catcher and then moved down to the pitcher spot and threw together 2 scoreless innings versus the top team after, you know, Audubon did put up a bit of a shelling. It's 0-1. One and one. That's a high chopper. Fair ball. Caladros, no. Foul ball. Called it at the last second. It's 1-2. Siebert 0 for 2 with a walk, a ground out, and a strikeout. If Audubon wins this one, stay tuned for the DWB Player of the Game presented by Harper Driving School. I think I got a good idea of who we're going to get this one for, but we'll have a little fun here. Audubon leads Gloucester 9-4. Audubon with a win. There's strike 3.
Oh,
Did he just? Yeah, he threw Siebert out of the game. He threw somebody out of the game. He threw Jake Siebert out. Yeah, he just, I don't know what it was. I guess game's almost over, 7th inning. And he is ticked. He just walked out of the dugout punched the fence. That's how Trent Bantle broke his hand a couple months ago. And obviously getting some consolement from his first base coach and from a couple of his teammates. He got thrown out, and then now Ryan Knowles coming out. I guess Wade Geis is in, Wade Geis is down there. I guess they're just going over strategies here, but Siebert is now back in the dugout after getting thrown out. It didn't even look like there was an adverse reaction. First of all, I thought that Trent Bantle was the one that got thrown out.
Yeah.
He stood up and went, "Let's go," like as he always does. But I thought that he was the one that, like, considering how weird this game's been, I definitely would have thought that would have been the situation where he would have gone, "Okay, no, you're showboating too much up by 5, and I'm throwing you out for that." Because I've seen that happen before, with players gloating a little too much when they're up late. So with Siebert's ejection, again, we didn't hear what was said. I would imagine the magic word. Maybe just a little too much chirping. That one's outside. But obviously an unfortunate sight, because you've got, collegiate scouts, junior college scouts, that they don't just read your batting average and decide to sign you. And that's part of the thing that makes being a high school baseball player so multifaceted, as there's a foul ball, 2-1 by Medler. Like, coaches would look at that clip of him punching the fence and they wouldn't want to sign him because that doesn't show great character. Swing and a miss, 2-2. So playing for college baseball does not just mean that you hit well or that you play the defense well. It also shows what kind of a teammate you are. And getting thrown out in a game like that, and then throwing yourself out of the game and also throwing yourself over to dugout too, not that great of a look. Medler down on strikes, and there's 2 away. We're down to the last call. McCormick on second base here. So here is Wiener, down by 5, 9-4 game, and this one's poked out towards second base. Dempsey's got it, ball game. Audubon beats Gloucester, and even though that was a bit of a rough ending, especially for Gloucester, you got to feel for them. Audubon improves to 12-6 with a 9-4 win. Gloucester had the ropes early. They scored 3 in the second to give themselves a 4-1 lead, but Audubon decided they weren't going to play games, and they scored 4 in the second, 4 in the fourth, and put the game away with 2 bunches of innings in the middle. You can see Seibert's not shaking hands with the club. I think he's definitely a little off the game about that, but Audubon will celebrate as Gloucester falls to 13-6, and the team with, for all intents and purposes, the better winning percentage over Audubon, they get taken down. It looked like Audubon was going to be in for a long ride tonight, and even though it didn't end up formulating for Gloucester, most certainly meant a lot to Audubon. They improved to 12-6. Gloucester falls to 13-5. And I have a feeling that both teams are going to be doing a lot of running after this one. Time of game, 2 hours and 28 minutes here from Audubon, as we will close with the Harper Driving School Player of the Game interview. We've selected Tyler Weltsy for it, so hang on to your hats. We'll be back in 5 minutes or so with our DWB post-game show right here on YouTube. Ladies and gentlemen, our Harper Driving School player of the game here for this 9-4 win for Audubon over Gloucester, Tyler Wiltsey. The Rutgers commit got 2 triples on the day and still 2 for 2, got a hit by pitch and drove in a whole bunch of runs in Audubon's win over Gloucester. I mean, you guys didn't have the smoothest start. Got off to a 4-1 deficit. You guys came back with 4 runs in the second inning, and you guys scored in bunches. 4 in the second, 4 in the fourth, and that's really all you needed. But you guys were down early, and what was that mentality like for you to come back that early in the second inning, put up a 4 spot, and give you guys the lead that you guys would eventually not give up?
I mean, didn't have practice tomorrow. Didn't expect to get off to a slow start, but we knew it wasn't going to be easy getting off to the start. So we picked it up as of late, and once we got the lead, we just didn't let go.
I mean, this has definitely been a funky season for you guys. I mean, you've been here for 3 years now, and it's been a little odd. You guys have played Delsey twice now. You guys beat Eustis in the Diamond Classic first round, and even though that didn't advance past the second, it's still a big statement win. You know, it kind of shows that if the Ralph Shaw had gone a little differently and Kingsway didn't walk him off a whole month ago, would have been a very different season for you guys. But you guys are still in a good position right now. A big win over a cross-division rival, and you guys also did the same versus Gateway. You guys are just mowing them down right now. You guys have Paulsboro on Tuesday, and then Haddonfield on Thursday. It's a big week ahead, and then Shawnee on Saturday. So you guys are rocking and rolling right now. What's the vibe like in the clubhouse?
Great vibe. I mean, we've been going 4 games a week, which we have yet to go on a perfect 4-0. It's normally like 3-1, 2-1. Hopefully this week it can be a little different, and we can just carry on the momentum to playoffs.
And then for you personally, 2 triples in 2 innings. I mean, I don't know what kind of conditioning regimen that you got to go through so that you can withstand 2 triples in 2 innings, but that's got to be an exhilarating feeling. I mean, you had it pretty easily the second time, but I mean, are you just flying around there like there's no tomorrow? Like, where'd you? I don't know how to phrase the question, but you know, like, was there any thought in your mind of 3 or bust, or like what's going on in your head when you're rounding those bases?
I mean, the end goal is obviously to make it to home plate.
Oh yeah.
I mean, sometimes you have to stop at third.
Sometimes, yeah.
Sometimes, yeah.
I mean, there's no better way to phrase it, you know, like just the fact, a lot of running tonight. I mean, you know, you didn't get too many plays at short. They just didn't really hit the ball your way that much, but still, I mean, this was a great team win. Everybody got on base, everybody got hits, and even though you were down early, you showed resilience through adversity by coming back and getting back in the win column. So after the tough loss on Saturday, you guys have a tough week ahead, and as you were saying, you know, you haven't gone a perfect 4-0 in a week yet, but despite this packed schedule, you've got a bright future ahead for this team after the first couple of weeks were a little iffy. So now that you guys are solidly back in the contention for South Jersey Group 1, what's the game plan going forward?
Oh yeah, for sure. Today was a big day. I mean, I think maybe 40 power points for this one, and they were right behind us. So, I mean, we should have first right now for a while, so we need to keep going. As long as we win out, we should be first, and keep the home field advantage going.
And that's perfect. All right, thank you, Tyler, very much.
You.
We will close with the signing. So you'll just sign anywhere on the bottom of the scorecard. This was a tradition that we started earlier this year. Make it nice and big on the bottom there. I like that. Oh boy, wow. Hope you don't sign legal documents like that. There you go, Tyler Wiltsey with a little chicken scratch to close us off here on this Monday afternoon. Thank you very much, Tyler.
Thank you.
Final score here from Audubon, 9-4 in favor of the Green Wave. They improved to 12-5, and Tyler Wiltsey, your player of the game, with 2 RBIs and 2 triples in 2 innings. What a day for Audubon. They were down 4-1 early. They were able to claw back into it off of Gloucester's lab experiment, if you will, Joseph McDonald, and now they are back in the win column for the first time this week. They play Paulsboro tomorrow, and then they're on the road to Haddonfield on Thursday, and then they've got a big non-conference matchup versus Shawnee on Saturday. Our next broadcast will be tomorrow, weather permitting, between the Rancocas Valley Red Devils and the Gloucester Catholic Rams in the quarterfinals of the Diamond Classic, with a doubleheader on Wednesday between Lenape and Cherry Hill West, another Diamond Classic quarterfinals game at 3:45, and Highland versus Triton under the lights from Belmar Rec at 7 o'clock. That'll be all for us tonight here on DWB. From our social media coordinators Brandon DeKegerland and Keely Curran, our graphics crew Gavin Van Rel, Caleb Lane, and Liam Nolan, my wonderful producer Vincent Vogt, I'm Dan Wilkins. We've got 3 games in 2 days coming up, but only if the weather holds off. Rain, rain, go away, and Rancocas Valley versus Gloucester Catholic is here to stay for tomorrow. Until next time, I'm Dan Wilkins. Have a good one, folks.